All change. This train not taking passengers.
Hey everyone. I've been meaning to start an episode off like that for ages. I kept forgetting to do it purely because Jimmy Drama keeps giving me shit about coughing before I start recording. So I coughed myself silly and then thought I'd preempt the cough just for funsies. Speaking of Jimmy Drama, this one's going specifically out to him because I know he's going to be listening because he's got nothing else to do with his sad, pathetic life. Oh, I love it. He was with me when I went to buy the what's it called? The shelving unit for my laundry area. I've got a European laundry in my apartment, and I talked about it ages ago. How I came home and it fell apart, and I bit the bullet and went to buy one, and ended up doing the trek with Jimmy across. I went to Kmart in Richmond, and then I ended up going to Kmart in Coburg and gave him a call because he was in the area, and the thing took forever to put together. Ended up being, a couple mil too short to clear my washing machine, so I ended up going to Bunnings and just bought a couple bits of lumber, got them cut up, and then put them underneath the feet to chock them up. And he was trolling me. He was giving me shit, saying, yeah, totally worth the time and effort that you spent, to get it right and la la la. And I was just thinking the other day, in all my house, everything's chaos. The whole house is just shit. There's stuff everywhere. Like the office is just disgusting. There's papers on the ground from, clients from a year ago and, that I haven't had time to just muster up and throw out. There's always like just excess coffee mugs sitting on my desk with tea, and just bad plates, from meals that I've had at the desk while I'm working, and I'll do laundry like 8 times before I actually put anything away, so it just stacks up in a washing basket. And the logical thing would be to just put things away as you clean them, but my logical thing would be to go buy more washing baskets to just keep stacking shit up. And I was sitting here too, I'm just realizing that it probably might be beneficial if we were actually videotaping these things, because I know I get a bit animated. But nevertheless, what my point was, is that the other day I was doing laundry, and for the first time since I moved out of home and started doing laundry independently, I switched up my laundry powder. I went from whatever the hell I was using last time that was always on special but not. I went back to Omo, the tried and true Omo that every Greek in Melbourne used. It was always on special. And I haven't used that. I haven't worn clothes that were washed with that powder since, I was, 27, 26, I don't know. That's the last time that my mum would have done my laundry for me. Or, I did laundry in the house that I grew up in, and that's what was available. And it's the biggest hit of nostalgia. It's so strange. I did the first load, and I did bed sheets, I did everything, and it was just so strange, like the nostalgia that we associate with like smells, sounds, places, names, like things like that. As soon as I did the washing and I could smell it wafting through my apartment, I just instantly felt like I was, 7 years old getting told off by my mum, growing up in Clayton. So bizarre. But the point was that my Euro laundry now, where it used to be a shit show and a place of absolute mayhem and pandemonium, now is probably my only form of comfort in the entire house because of the miraculous shelving unit that I've put together. That was totally worth the trek across town to get. Totally worth the pain in the ass to put together because I kept putting things up like wrong, misaligned, backwards, upside down, all that sort of shit. I put 3/4 of the unit together and then realized something was backwards. Had to redo it because I've all got the shitty, cheap IKEA spec instructions that are even worse because the diagrams don't actually suit real life. And there's no context for size. So they've got these screws. It's like you've got 8 of these. You've got to use them with the dowel. But then there's no context. There's no scale of comparison for scale of measure. So that the screw looks like it's, 5 foot long, but it's actually like 3 millimeters. Anyway. But yeah, screw you, Jimmy Drama. That shelving unit was totally worth the time to put together. Because now all my towels are nice and neat. Tea towels are nice and neat. Everything just fits. Just push it in, take it out as you need it. It's not a struggle to get the washing machine lid open. Not my luck, I'm going to go home and it will have collapsed just for the sheer fuck of it. As is the rest of my life. So this is the first episode that I'm doing for 2023. I'd said I was going to try and get one done before the year wrapped. The 22 wrapped up and I just ran out of time, and then I thought I'd try and get one done the first couple of days of the year, but again, ran out of time. And today, in all honesty, today we're meant to do a low-hanging fruit episode with Jon and Andy, but Jon has pulled up with, he's feeling crook, he doesn't want to risk infection. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's period cramps or menopause. I don't know. But Godspeed and good health. I'm sure we'll be back to coming in here and chewing through Krispy Kreme donuts while on mic, like as we've all come to love and expect. I'm really taking it out. See, this is the best thing because I'm sitting here by myself in the dark and I can just troll these people and there's no consequence whatsoever. They never speak to me again, but anyway, I digress. Speaking of Krispy Kremes, I've been feeling like crap like the last couple of weeks, months, maybe year, I don't know. Just dog shit. And as every other mature-aged adult man does, I ignored it for as long as I could until I was, physically just not well. Not in a good space. So made an appointment with the GP, and the first thing was she took my blood pressure, and she's like, your blood pressure's a bit high. I'm like, of course it is. I'm Greek. What do you mean? Like, do you feel anxious? I go, no more than normal. She says, yeah, that's concerningly high. Okay. So she took blood, didn't probe me, but took blood and got those results back. And then I got an ultra scan done a couple of days ago. Had those results back. I meant to fast for the ultra scan. I had no idea. No idea. Me, the idiot, got up eating cereal. And they said, you need to fast completely for this ultra scan. It was to check for gallstone issues and things like that. There's a history of gallbladder issues and kidney issues on my mum's side. And there's a history of heart disease and strokes and stuff on my dad's side. So I'm pretty much a ticking time bomb. Couple that with my crappy diet, lack of exercise and sunlight, and my highly intensive work structure where I get 9 days of the week on and 6 days in lieu of put aside on a shelf in my mind that I need off. They're just waiting for me to collapse, basically. And so, I got all these scans done, just did a full physical, and they said to me, you've got high blood pressure, which has come as a result of high cholesterol, which has in turn led to a fatty liver. So, we're bagging Jon out about it, several months ago, a year ago, whenever it was, and now it's come to fruition and full circle that I'm now part of that category. Doctor said that, I'm too young to be put on, well, I'm not too young, but she wants to avoid putting me on, pills to control the blood pressure just purely because I am overweight and unfit, which we know, and I do work too much, which we also know. But interestingly enough, don't earn enough money to survive. So she said, go organic, just lose some weight, try and get back in the gym, all that sort of stuff. before we put you on pills, because once we put you on pills, you're on pills for life. So I was like, okay. The other flip of it is that my arm got injured at work about just under a year ago. And, of course, I didn't follow through with any physio or chiro. I just went and got cortisone pumped into my elbow. And as a result, I've basically thrown my whole arm out of whack. And that's in turn fucked with my back, my neck, my knee. Like, it's just everything's gone askew. So basically, you know, if you have pains in one point of your body and you know your brain physically counteracts it by you're working, you know, counterbalancing the pain by using other muscles to achieve the same outcome of movement. So because I can't bend my elbow properly or lift my shoulder, I'm actively engaging my back and my neck on my opposite side. So that's throwing everything out of kilt. I'm just a hot mess. And you're probably better off just putting me out to pasture and shooting me, one of the two. It's not going to get good. So for the first time ever, I went to physio and I went to chiro consistently. I'd done both before, just in the past due to injuries, but not as consistently as I've been going now. Work's paying for it, thank God, because there's no way I'd be able to afford the $300 it costs every week to go. But you know what's been interesting is seeing the two play off against each other. And I don't like it, not out of disrespect. I know I've got a physio and a chiro that I've engaged with that have the best intentions for me and are really open and know their shit. But it's funny how the two industries are so interconnected, but they're not. Where it's like a dockers and painters sort of thing. You know, like they won't go as far as discrediting the other person, but they will go an extra mile to emphasize the fact that they're different and not necessarily more beneficial, but definitely over-validating their place. And I suspect, this is something that I've sort of seen across the board when I discuss these things with physios and or chiros. And again, I'm not throwing my two people under the bus because they're brilliant, but it's just interesting just in the conversation. Yeah, they're both different. Yeah. But one could be a glorified masseuse and the other could be a glorified bone cracker. It's like in Seinfeld where George is dating that pianist and he says, was it Jerry? Jerry that says that she rehearses for hours, warms up before she does a concert. And it's like, what do you think they do? Just crack their knuckles? I can't remember if I'm quoting the right person. Anyway, regardless, that's been a big part of my life the last month. Yeah. And see, this is the problem where I have, like, with people donating money to the cause or, when I knock back the idea of paid subscriptions. Consistency. I'd done back-to-back episodes for a good chunk of last year. And then come December, I just couldn't even find time to... And I'm actually at the studio. I was in here a bit this last few weeks. I've had, a couple of different clients in here recording things. And I kept saying I should sit here and do a session just for myself. And then I tried to convince myself to do a session at my house. And I found a reason to try and get back to the studio because it is a nice space. I shared a post the other day. I took a photo of in here and I captioned it with something like, still pinch myself. I've mentioned it before how I always wanted a studio when I was a kid. Well, not a kid, but when I first started doing audio engineering. And the thing is, I don't do any original production anymore. I don't do any of that sort of stuff. Why I wanted a studio back in the day, my motivations were different. But it was always like the plan. And I've had one now entirely on my own terms since 2019 or so. Mid-2019. But then it was never the right place. The one that I had before this, it was a way smaller space. And I just went through a whole lifestyle change. I had a whole bunch of different stuff sort of changing. So I didn't get to utilize it that much. And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't 100% comfortable in that joint. So when I moved out at the start of, it was the second, when did I move in here? Start of 2021. So I think it's been nearly 2 years now. Yeah, it was the start of 2021, definitely. And I had Andy help me with the move. Yeah, you actually get motivated to be in a space, to utilize it. I've mentioned this before. And even over the last month, like in December, I bought a cheap TV just so we could play Fight Night here comfortably. It's a big TV. Bought a couple cheap speakers that crank out pretty good sound. Maybe spent $90 there. Bunch of other little cables and things that I needed. Just random stuff in the studio to make it a bit more ergonomically friendly and user friendly. Where it is at a point where I'm almost 100% comfortable in here. I know I can comfortably bring clients in now, record. It's nice. And I guess, if I've achieved nothing else, at least I rented a room out and put all my toys in there from where I was a kid. Speaking of kid, today's Lunar New Year, or at least this weekend was, so Gong Si Fa Sai. What's the other one? I know that's Cantonese. I keep forgetting the other one. Gong Si Fa Sai is Deaf Cantonese? Definitely, I think. I should look that up. Hang on, wait a second. I remember back in the day, Chinese New Year greeting. Here we go. Oh no, wait, that is Mandarin. Is it? Why can't the internet just be more straightforward? Seriously? It is Mandarin. I should just ask a Chinese person. No, hang on. So it is Mandarin. Gong Si Fa Sai is Mandarin and Gong Hei Fa Choi is Cantonese. That's the difference. Yes. So that literally means wishing you health and prosperity, wishing you money and good fortune. And I was at a shopping centre earlier today and I saw the line dancing. So, local line dancers set up a show. Well, that's not a show. It's a ritual thing, traditional ritual, cultural ritual. And, that took me back to being a kid and seeing it for the first time in Clayton, at the Vietnamese bakery. And, it's weird how certain things, take you back. Like I said, smells, sounds, and places and names and things. I actually read into it a bit. Stuff like that is pretty cool because it transcends, goes across different cultures and different countries. So, for anyone that didn't know, Chinese New Year and Lunar New Year, Chinese and Vietnamese have slightly different zodiac. They swapped out the cat for the rabbit and the water buffalo for the ox. But other than that, it's essentially the same grift. Grift. Jesus. But what's interesting is the line dancing sort of ritual and tradition has so many, depending where you're from, let's just take mainland China as an example, whether you're north, whether you're south, depending which one, depending which interpretation, they've got different colors, representing different elements, different feelings. The dance itself, it just doesn't, if you pay attention, it's not just some kid having epileptic fits. It's actually dance moves and it goes through martial arts as well. It's actually really cool. And the fact that it goes across, not just Chinese culture, Vietnamese culture, Japanese do it and they've got their own take on it. Koreans do it. Indo-Balinese, anyone from Java does it. They've all got their own tale with it. They've all got their own story and history and all that sort of thing. And then even in Africa, I can't remember which country it was, but they have their own version of it as well. It's nice just seeing this cultural thing. It's actually funny. These lions were going sick, just cutting through the crowd, and they actually blocked in this older couple on mobility scooters. This couple was sitting there on mobility scooters, just awash with these lions just zooming past them and blocking them in. They were all in good fun. They were laughing, but it was pretty funny to see. It was a really weird start to the year. On New Year's, was it New Year's Day? The day of New Year's Day, like that evening. I went for a drink in the city, just at Crown with a couple friends, just catching up. And on the way back, we were walking back to my joint, and there was a low-flying plane. I don't know how. We were talking about something to do with terrorism or something. I don't know what it was. And we've looked up, and I've just seen this plane flying towards us. I said, man, that is really low flying, like bad. Like we're in CBD South Bank, and this plane legit, you felt you could reach out and touch it. And because it was dark as well, and like all the lights were sort of throwing the shadowing off, I'm like, is it just a visual, like an illumination sort of thing? Like, it's not the right word to use, but anyway. And we're just sitting there, and as it's coming, I'm like, man, that is low. Like, that is really low. And it was only just ascending at that point. And I said, how can this plane be ascending? It's hitting nearly the city. Like, where is it taking off from? There are no airfields around here. The nearest airfield other than Tullamarine is, Moorabbin or whatever. And as we've turned and we're just following this plane, it legitimately looked like it was going to hit one of the buildings just opposite, like Kingsway, like around there somewhere. And we freaked. At the last minute, it disappeared over the top of the building. And I swear to God, I've never been that nervous or scared. And one of the boys that I was with was like losing it. He's like, man, that legit looked way too close. I don't know. And I was looking for like reports of like low-flying planes and stuff, but couldn't find anything. But then again, I don't know. I know, it sort of pains me. I'm sitting here and I've actually taken off my tea because it's just too warm in this room. The aircon is still crap as, so I've got the fan slowly pushing hot air through the room. I'm just noticing my gut, and it really is a sign of the fact that I've gotten older. I remember being shredded till like 20, just because I did martial arts for that long and played sport for that long and never drove anywhere, didn't really eat a lot of crap. And then as soon as I started drinking beer, like it all went downhill. And even if you go back to like 2019, 2018, I was still pretty fit. Like I'm seeing photos, especially because of Christmas, like, your phone brings up all the memories from the year before and the year before and the year before. And now it's just being ruthless. Now it's just like, yeah, here's your memory from 7 years ago where you looked healthier, had more money, and a lot more free time. I don't know. It's depressing. My knees actively hurt. And I asked my doctor, like, why do my knees hurt this much? Why are my ankles so sore? And she literally said, well, you're carrying all the extra weight, so your knees are starting to, no. I was like, yeah, thanks, doc. That makes me feel good. I don't know. I was relying on Uber Eats a bit just because I didn't have time to go do groceries. I was just working back to back to back. So I know I let it go. But you know what, man? There was an ad. It's popped up on YouTube a bunch. I keep getting the same ads. Like, the algorithm is sick. Like, I started looking to plan a trip to Europe or whatever. So all I get is kayak ads, like, non-stop. And even the ad for kayak annoys me. Because the song is like, hang on, I'm going to find $10. This kayak ad comes up every freaking 5 minutes. I'm going to search a video, and I guarantee you, if I look up 4 different videos, at least once that kayak ad's going to play. 100%. I'm actually tempted now. All right, let's try.
The moment you become an Expedia member,
No!
instantly start saving on your travels.
Expedia! Jesus! Is this not listening to me or what? That is scary. I talk about how kayak is shit, and an Expedia ad comes up. Alright, I really want this kayak ad now, but I feel like because I've already watched an ad, it's not going to let me watch another video without an ad. And I think that's what's going to happen, which sucks. Because actually, for the purpose of this experiment, I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do. Maybe if I actually just search the ad. Let's have a look. Kayak ad. Here we go. Aha. Okay, now you're traveling. This ad. Garbage.
Wanna go get away, but booking travel, it seems to be so complicated. Till Kayak made it easy, no more getting frustrated. We got hotels, cars, and flights, travel anywhere you like. Kayak is the only site you need. Desktop to mountaintop, country hopping non-stop, popping killer price drops.
Now you're traveling.
Hashtagging a humble bragging, laughing when you're...
So that's the irony.
Memories and travel
The
bags.
best part of the ad, all right, typically they play that like 20-second version, right? So it cuts off at that first, now you're traveling. I was on my couch out of it, and for some reason, the longer 30-second version started popping through. And the second harmonization of those words actually sound pretty cool, like as far as musically, you know. But you never hear it because the ad cuts out normally, typically. Jesus. The thing about that ad that shits me is like, okay, now I'm forced to actually listen to the whole thing again because I keep forgetting the lyrics. Hang on. Captions, so I don't have to listen to it again. Of course there's no captions. You dog. All right, forced to listen to it again.
Wanna go get away, but booking travel, it seems to be so complicated. Till Kayak made
There we go. That's what annoys me. Want to get away, but booking seems so complicated. Till Kayak made it easy, no more. They got apps, hotels, no more getting frustrated. Whatever the hell she's saying, right? Kayak has only been around for a little while. Not long. I mean, they're advertising the living shit out of it. Booking.com, Expedia, you know, all the other ones have existed for over a decade plus. I've used Booking.com relentlessly. Now, it's not the fact that they're making it out like their app is so much better or seamless, you know, than the other competitors. This is what annoys me the most about that ad. The fact that you want to get away, but it all seems so complicated. What seems complicated? Booking a flight? Booking a hotel? Because I tell you what, man, if you find that process complicated, I'm not so much concerned as you getting lost or frustrated with you making the booking, but more concerned about where you're actually pulling in money to pay for a fucking holiday. If you find that being complicated. I had a credit card scam. I got scammed probably just after Christmas. I went to bed one night and I woke up, my credit card had been maxed out and there was like $300 odd, whatever, of charges to a BWS online, and someone had ordered like $200 worth of food. And I was like, oh, wow, it's a lot of food and booze. But you know, I'm glad they know what they're doing. And so I cancelled that. Actually, I didn't even cancel it. You know what happened? I called up at that hour, you know, like midnight, whatever it was. I was in bed. I was wrecked. And I've called up. They've put me on hold for like 25 minutes. And I fell asleep. So I fell asleep with the phone, like just on hold. So I've woken up in the morning, tried again, 20, 30 minutes later. I get through. Emergency, you know. And, yeah, the woman said, look, you know, obviously, I go, look, I'm disputing these charges. Or if you want to dispute them, you know, just put a block on your card and I'll file the dispute. I said, okay, cool. I've never had my card scammed ever. I've been using online internet banking and all that sort of stuff for years. Never been scammed ever on money. This was the first time ever that I had like unauthorized transactions. So I said, yeah, well, of course I'm disputing it. I didn't make them. She's okay. I leave it. And then at some point during the day, I'm like, you know what? I'll put a block on my card. Then that evening, I get a message saying someone attempted a transaction on your phone, on your card, seeing as you put a block on it. Someone's attempted. So I've called up again and got another girl. It was midnight. It was late. And the next woman on the phone said, yeah, like, you know, you had your phone blocked, blah, blah, blah. Why is it blocked? I said, well, because it was scammed. I'm disputing the charges. And it's like, well, the dispute hasn't been processed. I said, well, when do I have to process it? How does it get processed? Oh, well, you need to cancel your card. I said, well, I wasn't informed. It's like, yeah, well, we can't process a dispute unless you've cancelled your card. And at this point, your card isn't cancelled. It's only the block that you put on. Okay, so then what the hell was I doing with the one on the phone in the first place that I waited on, after 40 minutes? I don't know. Oh, yeah, great. Fantastic. Thanks. Anyway, so look, fair play to them. The money was refunded pretty quickly. I got a new card, but the problem is that almost 85% of my life is direct debited because otherwise I'd forget to pay things. So slowly, I started getting an influx of messages saying, hey, you owe us money. Your card bounced, which I totally expect, but your card bounced. We need your new details. And, yeah, that's been fun the last couple of weeks, stopping everything I do every couple of minutes to like beg these people to waive like the late fee. Look, man, it's not my fault. I just got a card. And mostly everyone's been pretty good about that too, which is good. The only other thing I can think of, speaking of ads, Domino's has an ad on YouTube as well. And it's some dad talking to like, I don't know, I'm assuming they're his kids or something. And he says something like, who feels like pizza? And then he's like, I've got just a coupon. And then it shows him rifling through like a drawer with like 1 million coupons. And then he leans back and just goes, expired. Like, his whole world's collapsing. And it's like, hang on, man. What's Domino's worth? Like $5 a pizza? 7? Like, I know it's bottom of the barrel shit. It's like, how much could you be saving with a coupon for Domino's? You're already paying like nothing. Are they literally just giving you an empty box with like grease in it? And then, what doesn't make sense is the ad itself. The dad's in a house that looks pretty well established. But he's dying because his coupon for Domino's has expired. Like, I get you're meant to, suspend reality and suspend disbelief a bit or whatever, but for fuck's sakes, like, marketing has just gone up the arse. It's like, I don't think people living in houses like that would be dying over Domino's or hoarding them the way it looks like in the fucking ad. Having a drawer filled with the shit, like confetti. Far out, man. Speaking of confetti, do you know who should have gotten a ticker tape parade? It was Nick Kyrgios for his brilliant call. I love how the media is still making him out to be the bane of like Australia's existence, but he plays an exhibition game with Novak Djokovic and sells out within seconds. And I love how they keep trying to amp up like the whole, we don't need Nick Kyrgios. We've got other homegrown superstars. And everyone just dies in the arse. I don't know. He's a polarizing figure. Jesus. Fuck, I'm so tired. I have zero energy. I'm at that bad point of like being that tired where you binge eat just sugar and crap to stay awake. But it's that toxic cycle because you can't get proper sleep. You don't get proper rest. Your body goes to shit. I should be doing like a bike ride or something tonight, but I'm honestly going to go home and fall asleep. Maybe I could fall asleep here. I've always wanted to just sleep on my couch in the studio. It is so comfortable. And it's so quiet here. It is just the nicest place to just chill out. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You know what the other thing was? Speaking about polarizing figures, Dana White was in the news not long, like last 2 weeks ago or something. He got into a fisticuff with his wife. They were getting into an argument. She slapped him, so he slapped her back. And they're instantly out trying to reprimand him and say, hey, cancel him, cancel UFC, blah, blah, blah. We can't have this going on. And it's just like, hang on. He got slapped by his wife, so he slapped her back. And the knives are out. And I'm in the camp of you shouldn't hit women. Ever. Right? Now, I watched In Bruges with Colin Farrell. And he talks about how if anyone ever comes at him with a bottle, that's fair play, man or woman. A bottle is fair play to throw a punch. And he insults this Canadian dude and then punches him out. So then the guy's missus has a swing at him with a bottle. And he goes, a bottle, fuck you then. And then like punches her in the face as well. So I'm in the camp of like, yeah, you shouldn't be punching women, like whatever the issue is. But he got slapped, so like they were both drunk as well. So he gets slapped, he slaps her back, and then they've come out like to cancel him for it. And he says, look, we're both drinking. It was a heated argument. And he came out and said the same things. Like, I should never have obviously raised my hand. It's completely uncharacteristic. It goes against character. And she came out and confirmed this, said, this has never happened. We've been married for how many years? But it's just interesting, the double standards yet again in media, just generally. And there's two examples that I've been thinking of. One popped up today, but I couldn't figure out what the double standard was and why. So one thing you see in media is always vast age differences. So every time an older dude hooks up with a younger woman, it's sugar daddy shit or whatever. This guy's a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. And it was Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon. He's 93 and he married a physician, he married a scientist that worked for him who's 30 years younger than him. So she's 60 something, but she's had heaps of work done. So she looks that ghoulishly young age compared to him who's 93. But they never once said how there's such a vast age gap and la la la. It's he's 90, she's 60. That's 30 years. Pretty sure if we all hooked up with people 30 years younger than us, there'd be a disparity. Even though context is always a good thing. And then the other one was, if you search, I remember I found this online. And I actually searched it just to see for myself because I wanted to see if it was true, if it was part of the algorithm again, like that other shit. But if you Google why my wife yells at me, the first thing that comes up is an example and says some key reasons your wife may yell at you. She doesn't feel heard, so she raises her voice. She shouts at you because she feels you don't help enough. Your wife may lose her temper because chores and house stuff don't feel fair. She yells because you didn't follow through on an agreement or a promise. In other words, justifying why your wife would yell at you and reasons why. If you search why my husband yells at you, the first thing that comes up is White Ribbon Australia helpline. This is a 24-hour national sexual assault, family and domestic violence counselling line for any Australian who's experienced and blah, 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 blah. If you want to talk about disparity, man, come on. The first Google search, the algorithm brings up key reasons why your wife may be yelling at you, and this is why, because you're a piece of shit. If your husband yells at you, here's help to reach out to. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm actually very, very tired. This is probably going to do more harm than good. But anyway, I need to go to my car and get a USB. Fucking what a trainer. I wonder how long this is going to take to convert. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, look, yeah, apologies for the delay in episodes. I've got a few people lined up that I want to bring in outside of the low-hanging fruit. Just not sure when I'm going to get to do it. These next 2 months are really crucial. I'm really, really busy. But keep liking, sharing, following, subscribing. Last year was one of our busiest years ever. Most, episodes sort of done with new guests, most listens, all that sort of thing. Appreciate everyone that listens, everyone that's not vocal about it, everyone that's too embarrassed to share that they actually do. I was going to try a big marketing campaign with a few different things, but that's going to the wayside just because I've had all these other expenses pop up. So I'm going to do a few little things, but nothing special. Again, if you've, the biggest compliment you can pay us is not donate money, not buy us a coffee, just like our stuff and share it, reshare it. One tweet is worth millions to me. One reshare on Instagram or Facey. Send a link to someone you think may like listening to this crap. I can only do what I can do. It's grown as organically as it can, but it could always grow more. And that'll help bring in better quality episodes of a high caliber. Jesus, my eyes are actually shut. I can't keep my eyes open. I definitely need a nap before I start work again. Jesus Christ. If you have anyone that you think we should bring in for a chat, by all means, flick them through, push them in this direction. Yeah, if you know what the quality of these episodes are, it's just interesting stories. Humans real moneyful people. But yeah, I want to say a big thank you to, because I didn't get a chance to, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that took part last year. Yeah, everyone that came in over the course of the year. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we had so many interesting people come in, take time out of their schedule to sit down in this dark, dingy room and talk smack and be honest and open, about themselves and their lives and their experiences. It is actually pretty cool when you stop and think about it. But yeah, I'm going to check out. I'm really tired. Smoke crack.
Hold up.